Dreamcat English Learning.
Hi, I'm Sara, and I'm 14 years old. I'm about to tell you all about how my summer went and what it feels like to start a new school year. It's always exciting, but also a little scary because it means new challenges and more things to learn. My summer adventures. This summer was one of the best I've ever had. It was so full of fun activities that I almost didn't want it to end. My family went on a 2-week vacation to the beach. We stayed in a small house near the sea, and every day I woke up to the sound of the waves. I love the beach so much. The feeling of warm sand under my feet and the cool water when I dive into the sea is amazing. Every morning we would go for a swim, and sometimes I would just float on the water, feeling totally relaxed. In the afternoons, I spent time building sand castles with my little brother Liam. He's 8 years old and full of energy. We made some pretty impressive sand castles with tall towers and wide moats around them. Sometimes we even decorated them with seashells we found on the shore. I also liked collecting shells to bring home as a memory of our trip. One of the best things I did at the beach was try surfing for the first time. My parents signed me up for a few surfing lessons. At first, I was nervous. I thought it would be really hard to stand up on the board, but the instructor was patient and helped me a lot. By the third day, I was able to catch a few small waves. I was so proud of myself. Surfing felt like flying on the water, and even though I fell off the board many times, it was so much fun. I can't wait to try surfing again next summer. After our vacation, I spent some time at home, but I didn't just sit around. I went to a summer camp for 2 weeks. This was another new experience for me. I had never been to a camp before, and I didn't know what to expect. But when I got there, I made friends quickly. We did all sorts of activities, like hiking, swimming, and playing games. But the best part was learning how to play tennis. I had never played tennis before, and to be honest, I wasn't sure if I would like it. But once I started, I discovered that it was really fun. It's a fast-paced game that requires a lot of focus and energy. The first few days I had trouble hitting the ball, but by the end of camp, I was much better. I even won a small game against one of my friends. Tennis is definitely something I want to continue doing during the school year. My parents said they might sign me up for lessons at a local tennis club. Starting the school year. Now that summer is over, it's time to get back to school. I always have mixed feelings about the first day of school. On one hand, I'm excited to see my friends and get back to a routine. But on the other hand, I'm a little nervous about new subjects and teachers. This year I'm in the 9th grade, which means more responsibility and harder classes. It's not just about having fun anymore. I need to focus more on my studies. One of my biggest goals this year is to improve in math. Last year, I struggled a lot with algebra. I found it difficult to understand some of the concepts, and even though I studied hard, my grades weren't as good as I wanted them to be. This year, I'm determined to do better. I've already talked to my math teacher, and she gave me some tips on how to approach the subject differently. I've also decided to start reviewing my notes every day after school, instead of waiting until the last minute before a test. I think this will help me stay on top of things. Another goal I have is to be more organized. In the past, I sometimes forgot to do my homework or lost important papers. This year I bought a planner, and I'm going to write down all my assignments and deadlines. I've also set up a study schedule so I can balance my schoolwork with my hobbies. I really want to have a good balance between fun and studying, because I know that's important. In addition to math, I'm looking forward to some new subjects we're learning this year. One of them is chemistry. We had a few science classes last year, but this year it's much more detailed. We've started learning about the periodic table, and even though it's complicated, I find it interesting. I love doing experiments in the lab, and I can't wait to learn more about how different substances react with each other. History is another subject I enjoy. We're learning about ancient civilizations like Egypt and Rome, and it's fascinating to see how people lived thousands of years ago. I think it's amazing how things that happened so long ago still influence the way we live today. I always try to imagine what life was like back then, and sometimes I even read extra books about history in my free time. My daily routine. Since school started, my daily routine has changed a lot compared to the summer. During the holidays, I used to wake up late and spend most of the day relaxing. But now, I have to get up at 7 a.m. every morning. It's tough because I'm not really a morning person, but I know it's important to start the day early. The first thing I do when I wake up is have breakfast. I usually eat cereal or toast with some fruit. I think breakfast is the most important meal of the day because it gives me the energy I need to stay focused in class. After breakfast, I get ready for school. I put on my uniform, pack my school bag, and make sure I have all my books and homework. My school day starts at 8:30 a.m. and finishes at 3 p.m. It's a long day, but we have breaks in between classes to relax and talk to friends. I really like lunchtime because it's a chance to sit with my friends and catch up on what's been happening. We laugh a lot and sometimes share snacks. After lunch, it's back to class for a few more hours. When school ends, I go home and have a snack. Then I sit down to do my homework. I try to finish my homework early so I can have some free time in the evening. If I have a lot of homework, I break it into small tasks so it doesn't feel overwhelming. Once my homework is done, I like to spend some time relaxing. I usually read a book, watch TV, or go online to chat with my friends. On days when I don't have too much homework, I also practice tennis. I go to a local tennis court near my house, and I spend about an hour practicing my serves and hits. It's great exercise, and I feel like I'm getting better each time I play. I'm hoping to join the school tennis team next year, so I need to keep improving. Before bed, I usually take a shower, and then I spend some time drawing or listening to music. Drawing helps me unwind, especially after a busy day. I love creating different types of art, like sketches of animals or nature scenes. Sometimes, I even draw characters from my favorite TV shows or books. My friends and hobbies. One of the things I'm most grateful for is my group of friends. We've been friends since elementary school, and even though we all have different interests, we get along really well. My best friend, Emma, is really into sports. She plays soccer, and she's on the school team. I'm not very good at soccer, but I always go to her games to cheer her on. Emma is also really good at math, so she helps me sometimes when I don't understand something. Another close friend of mine is Mia. She's more into arts and crafts like me. We often spend time after school working on different projects together. Last year, we made friendship bracelets for everyone in our group, and this year we're thinking about starting a small art club at school. I think it would be a great way to meet new people who also love drawing and painting. In my free time, besides playing tennis and drawing, I also love listening to music. Music is a big part of my life. I listen to it when I'm happy, when I'm sad, and even when I'm studying. My favorite artists change all the time because I'm always discovering new songs. Right now, I'm really into pop music, but I also like some indie and rock bands. Sometimes I even try to learn the lyrics of my favorite songs so I can sing along. On weekends, I usually hang out with my friends. We go to the park, watch movies, or just walk around the mall. It's nice to take a break from school and spend time doing fun things with them. I feel really lucky to have such great friends who support me and make me laugh. My goals for this year. Looking ahead, I have a few goals that I really want to achieve this year. First, I want to improve in math. I know it's not going to be easy, but I'm going to work hard and ask for help when I need it. I'm also going to focus on being more organized. Keeping track of my homework and tests is important, and I think using my planner will really help. Another goal is to continue playing tennis and get better at it. Since I started enjoying it during summer camp, I've realized how much I love the sport. I want to practice regularly and maybe even join a local tennis club. I've been talking to my parents about it, and they said they would look into lessons for me. I think playing a sport is important, not just for staying healthy, but also for having fun and relieving stress after school. I also want to stay active in other ways, like going for runs or doing some yoga at home. Last year, I noticed that after spending a lot of time sitting in school, I often felt tired and sluggish. So this year I'm trying to move more and stay fit. It's easy to get caught up in studying and forget to take care of your body, but I know that exercising will help me feel better and stay focused. In terms of school, my biggest academic goal is to finish the year with good grades, especially in subjects that are more challenging for me, like math and chemistry. I don't expect to be perfect, but I want to see improvement. I'm also hoping to be more active in class, raising my hand more often and participating in discussions. Sometimes I feel shy about speaking up, but I know that asking questions is important if I want to understand the lessons better. This year I'm also thinking about joining a new club at school. We have a few clubs that sound interesting, like the drama club and the debate team. I've never been in a play or a debate before, but I think it could be a fun way to try something new and make more friends. I've heard that being part of a club can help with confidence, and it's always good to challenge yourself in different ways. Plus, it's a great way to spend time with people who share the same interests. Changes in my life. This year feels a little different from last year, not just because I'm in a higher grade, but also because I feel like I'm starting to grow up more. Being 14 is a strange age. You're not really a child anymore, but you're not quite an adult either. I'm starting to think more about my future and what I want to do when I finish school. I don't have everything figured out yet, but I'm starting to get a few ideas. I'm thinking about becoming a veterinarian because I love animals, and I want to help them. I've always been interested in science, so maybe studying biology in high school will help me move toward that goal. This year, I've also started to take more responsibility at home. My parents have been encouraging me to help out more with chores, like cooking dinner or doing the laundry. At first, I didn't enjoy it much because it felt like a lot of work, but now I see that it's important. It makes me feel more independent, and it's nice to contribute to the family. Plus, I've been learning some new recipes. My mom taught me how to make pasta, and last week, I made a salad all by myself. It wasn't anything fancy, but it felt good to make something for my family. One big change this year is that my best friend Emma moved to a different school. Her family moved to another town, which is about an hour away from where we live. We still keep in touch through messages and video calls, but I miss seeing her every day at school. At first, I was really sad about it, because we've been friends since we were little, but I'm trying to stay positive. I know we'll still be close, even if we don't see each other as often, and I'm looking forward to making new friends this year too. School program and challenges. The school program this year is definitely more intense than last year. In addition to the usual subjects like English, math, and science, we have new subjects like chemistry, geography, and economics. Chemistry is the most challenging for me so far. We're learning about atoms, molecules and chemical reactions, and sometimes it's hard to keep up with all the new terms and concepts. Chemistry is the most challenging for me so far. We're learning about atoms, molecules, and chemical reactions, and sometimes it's hard to keep up with all the new terms and concepts. I find the experiments we do in the lab really exciting, though. Just last week, we mixed different liquids to create a small chemical reaction, and it made a colorful change that looked like magic. I think that's what I like most about chemistry. It feels like you're discovering the secrets of how the world works. Still, I know that if I want to do well, I'll have to study harder. I've already started setting aside extra time to review my notes from chemistry class. Our teacher also suggested that we form study groups, so I've teamed up with 2 classmates to review the lessons together once a week. We take turns explaining things to each other, and that helps me understand the material better. I'm hoping this will help me improve, especially when we start doing more complex experiments later in the year. Besides chemistry, I'm also really enjoying history this year. We're studying ancient civilizations, like the Egyptians and the Romans, which I've always found fascinating. I love learning about how people lived in the past and how their discoveries and inventions shaped the modern world. Our history teacher is great at making the lessons interesting. She shows us pictures and videos from historical sites, and sometimes she even brings in replicas of old artifacts. It makes everything feel more real and alive. Another new subject this year is economics. At first, I thought it would be boring because it's about money and markets, but it's actually more interesting than I expected. We're learning about how businesses work and how people make decisions about what to buy and sell. I think it's useful because one day I'll need to understand how to manage money in my own life. I never really thought about that before, but now I'm starting to realize how important it is. Even though school is harder this year, I'm trying to stay organized so I don't get overwhelmed. I mentioned before that I'm using a planner, and that has really helped me. I write down all my assignments and test dates, and I break big projects into smaller tasks so they don't seem so impossible. For example, we have a big history project due next month, and instead of waiting until the last minute, I've already started gathering information and planning how I'll present it. It feels good to stay on top of things and not be stressed out all the time. Looking ahead. As I settle into the school year, I'm feeling more confident about balancing everything. I've realized that setting goals for myself helps me stay focused and motivated. Whether it's improving my grades, practicing tennis, or becoming more organized, having clear goals gives me something to work toward. I know that there will be challenges along the way. Some subjects will be tough, and I might get frustrated at times, but I'm learning that it's okay to ask for help when I need it. My teachers and friends are always there to support me, and I'm doing my best to support them too. One thing I've learned from this new school year is that change isn't always a bad thing. Even though some things are different now, like Emma moving away, or the new subjects being harder. I'm discovering new strengths in myself. I'm becoming more independent and responsible, and that feels really good. Overall, I'm excited about what this year will bring. I'm looking forward to improving in my studies, spending time with my friends, and continuing to explore my hobbies. Life is busy, but it's also full of exciting possibilities, and I'm ready to take on whatever comes my way.
Thank you for being with us in this video. Remember that with continuous practice, you will reach the desired level. Learn other words and terms by watching our other videos, and please support us by subscribing, liking, introducing to your friends.